Ja.
Okay, der Talk. Der Talk hat sich angehoben mit einem einzigen Geschrei von der Vogel. Jeder Vertag der eigene Vogel, der eigene wilder Geschrei. Es hat sich gedacht, wie der Vogel wollte gegeben, der Mischpoche seiner Zeichen, als der nennt sich der Sonnenspotz. The day started with the only crying of shout of a song, probably of a bird. Each morning, the same bird, the same wild shout, say wild song. It seemed as if the bird would give its family kind of a sign that the sun started to grow. That the growth of the sun, that the uprising of the sun is approaching. Jacob hat geöffnet die WS. Jacob has opened, I'm not sure what VS is, it's like Loden or?
Eyelashes. His eyes, basically.
Eyelashes, okay.
Eyelashes.
VS. Helemaal dit niet gehört. Okay, even. Die Firki seinen gesessen, die Firki seinen gesessen auf ein Ausgebet von Streu und Mist. His four cows sat on the kind of straw bed. I don't know how to say it, and some straw foundation, maybe from
padding.
Bedding, some straw, some bedding
Padding,
from
yeah.
straw and manure, maybe.
Yeah.
Inmitten der Stall seinen gelegt etliche verruste Steiner. Der Oven, was auf ihm hat Jakob sich gekocht, Kliskes, Korne Kliskes oder Hirsch, Baschmalzen mit Milch. Das ist schwer. Okay. In the middle of the stable, or what? In the middle of the.
I think stable. I think, yeah.
Yeah, kind of stable. I don't know if cows are kept in a stable. Or, okay. In the middle of a stable, could you get a little bit higher, because I don't see the letters.
Can you lower the?
Yeah. That's okay.
That's
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in the middle of the stable, there were several Farusta stones. What is Farusta?
Sooty,
Suti.
soot covered.
Suit covered, is that what it means? I
I see.
wasn't sure that. It doesn't mean rusty. I guess stones couldn't be rusty, so sooty makes more sense.
Suti.
Yeah.
Yeah, because rusty. Okay. The oven that Yakov used to cook karnekliskas, corn is like rye, so it's
Yeah.
rye pancakes or something like that. Oh, I don't know. Rye. Other Hirsch Bashmolzen mit Milch. This I don't think I understand. Bashmolzen is like bashmiert mit Schmolz. So smeared
Smeared.
with
But what is this
some
Hirsch?
fat. Smeared like
Yeah. But what is this Odel Hirsch, Schmolz? What is Hirsch?
Hirsch is millet.
That's millet. Is that just Slavic?
Millet.
Yeah. So Hirsch is basically a deer. So it's a kind of.
No,
that's not.
Hirsch is a deer, but this is Hirsch. So it's different. It's not the same.
It's not the same. But I'm asking Chaim, since he is in, if that's a Slavic word.
Which one?
Hirsch.
Hirsch? No, it's not Slavic.
Okay. So
doesn't look like Slavic. I think it's
so what is it?
Origin or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. At least I'm not
Some
familiar.
kind of grain.
Yeah.
Kind of grain.
Or millet. Yeah. Kind of grain.
Millet probably. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Millet. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bashmol. I don't understand bashmolz because schmaltz is like fat, so it's fatted.
I wonder if it
Cooking
doesn't
this
come.
grain and he put milk on it.
I wonder if it doesn't come from schmelzen. The Hirsch was melted. Schmelzen is to melt, and I think schmelzen is melted.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's not related to schmaltz at all.
I assume so. I don't know.
Schmaltz.
Yeah. It's
I'm
seasoned, I think.
I'm open to correction.
I found it as seasoned.
That's
seasoned with
yeah.
Sounds good.
Interesting. I have an English translation. It says Jacob cooked the rye and buckwheat cakes he ate with milk. So it looks absolutely different from what I imagined.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So I go on. Jacob hat Gallagher von Streu mit Hay und hat sich übergedeckt mit der Plachte, was in ihr hat gesammelt groß und Kreitechzer für die Behemoths. Okay. Another challenge. So Yaakov had Gallagher from Stroy. Gallagher is probably a place where he laid down, something like that.
A bed.
A bed.
I
would get a bed.
A bed.
A bed.
From straw with hay, and he covered himself with plachte. Plachte was
just a sheet or a tarpaulin, rough
Yeah.
cloth, a rough cloth.
Yeah, some material that he got together from grass and it's what do you call it? Also kind of straw, I guess.
Herbs.
How herbs? Yeah,
Herbs, yeah.
Yeah. Herbs for the cattle, for the cows. I feel in Mitten Sommer seinen auf den Bar gestanden kalte Nacht. Even in the middle of summer, the nights were cold in the mountains. Nicht einmal fleckt Jakob aufhäuben sich inmitten der Nacht und anwarmen die Hände oder die Füße und die Hüften von die Rinder. Not once Yaakov used to jump out, I don't know, wake out during the night in order to warm the hands and the feet against this probably side from the cows, or what? How would you say it? What is Hifton? Like,
Yeah. Hift is the rump, the rump of the cow, the back,
yeah,
hind quarter of the cow.
Okay. Und yeah, that's what I thought. Und der Stoll hat noch gewältigt die nachtische Finsternis, aber durch der Spalt in der Tier hat rein gescheint der Morgenrot. And the stable kind of ruled over the nighty darkness, but through the rifts in the walls, probably, and the door, in the doorway, the morning redness showed up, kind of lighted through the doorway. Jakob hat sich aufgesetzt und Sinnlichkeit sitzendig, ja. Sitzendigkeit zugeschlafen, letzte Restelschlaf. Jakob sat up, and while sitting, he was sleeping up the last remnants of his dream, of his sleepiness. Es hat sich ihm geholmt, als ist in Josefov und sagt Shir in Beis Midrash. So he had a dream like he was in Yosefov, it's probably name. Oh, Yosefov.
That was his town. That was his place.
Yosefov. So that he was in Yosefov, and he was saying lessons in Beis Midrash. Hat gelernt mit Bocherem die Sugie von Reish Hanin Reb. Wie? Ren?
Reb.
Yeah.
Reb Hanin.
Reb Hanin. Oh, Hanina. Hanina. Sagan Honim. Hohanim.
Yeah, that's Hebrew, so you're not required to know that.
אני יודע, אבל אני חייב להבין מה כתוב פה.
Okay, אבל I have a question on this that I'm addressing to Yankov. Maybe somebody else in the group knows it. Why is he learning that particular thing? What does that indicate? Reb Chanina Zgan HaKohanim. Any thoughts on that?
Is it something?
As we'll read a little bit later, he didn't have any books with him, any printed matter, so he did it from memory, and this is just happened to be something that he remembered that he had taught in the past.
He had actually
chance.
Okay. So it's not significant that it was that particular
No.
Okay.
Okay. Shall I continue or someone else takes over because I have only 7 minutes left?
Okay. Maybe I'll start because I'll want to leave a little while. So if you don't mind, Chaim?
No,
you don't mind?
Go on.
All right.
Okay.
No, Hakol beseder.
Hakol beseder. Noch a while hat Jakob ausgestreckte Hand und Blinderheit ungerührt das Teppel Nägelwasser. In a little while, Jacob stretched out his hand, and Blinderheit, I guess sort of blindly or without seeing, Blinderheit moved the teppel, the dish of the nail water. Hat gewaschen. If I say anything wrong or do anything wrong, please stop me. I'm open to correction. Hat gewaschen.
Gerührt, I think he's touched.
Oh, touched. Okay. Rühren, to touched. Okay, he touched. Hat gewaschen die Hände mit den Überhipperung, wie der Din ist. 3-mal vergossen die linke Hand und 3-mal die rechte. He
basically Netilat Yadayim.
Say again?
It's basically Netilat Yadayim. So he washed according to the tradition.
Well, yeah, but he washed the hands according to the law. 3 times the left, and 3 times he tossed or he poured on the left hand, and then 3 times on the right hand. 3-mal on the left and then on it. Hat noch früher gehabt gemurmelt moderni. He had already earlier murmured, you would say, the moderni, a tefillah, wo es wird nicht der Mund des Shem, und man mag sie sagen, umgewaschen. He had earlier said the moderni, a prayer where the name of God is not mentioned, So it's possible, it's permitted to do it without having washed, because he did that before he washed his hand. In der Regel hat a Kuh sich aufgestellt. So I guess ki is the plural of Kuh. In a moment, one of the cows stood up. Sie hat umgekehrt dem behornte Kopf und getonne Kuck auf hinterreiflichts, wie neigerig zu sehen, wie soll der Mensch heute on dem Frühmorgen. He gives as though the animal has some understanding and wants to know things. She turned her, is it horned head, and gave a look, or hinter, behind. Hinter is behind, weitlich. I don't know why it's hinter weitlich, as though curious to see how a person begins his morning. Die große Augen, voll mit Schwarzsappel, haben abgeschlagen dem Purpur von Sonnenaufgang. The big eyes, full with Schwarzsappel, that's the black part of the eye. What is that called? The pupil.
The pupil.
Full of pupil. Abgeschlagen, I don't know what abgeschlagen, I know what schlagen means, but I don't know what abgeschlagen, the purple of the sun's rise, So what is...
I think it's the same, reflected like abgespiegelt, probably.
Abgespiegelt, okay, reflected. Good morgen, Kvialtula, hat Jakob zu ihr gerät. Sich gut ausgeschlafen, ha? Good morning, he says to this cow. Jacob says, did you have...
I think Kviatula is like little flowers, something like that. Like a nickname.
Like a nickname? That's a Slavic nickname?
No, kviatki is the flowers in Yiddish. Kviat.
The little flower. So we already can see his relationship with these animals. Hat sich gehabt, zugewohnt, zu reden zu den Behemoths und teilwohl afilu zu sich allein. He had become used to speaking to the animals and often even to himself. Wenn nicht, you want to put it up on the screen? I'm reading from another screen, so maybe you, Marcia, you want to put it on the screen?
Yeah, we need help to see it.
Yeah, right. Now you have it, yeah? Okay. Wenn nicht, wollt vergessen das jiddische Loschen. If he didn't, in other words, if he didn't speak to the animals in Yiddish, or he didn't speak to himself in Yiddish, he would have forgotten his Mama Loschen. Hat geämpft das Tier und hat der Sehen, der Bär, was haben sich gezeugen in der weite Nischen. Wer weiß über wie viel Länder und Gemarken. So he now opened the door of this stall. I think probably this stall, this house for the animals, and he saw the mountains which spread out in the distance. Wer weiß, who knows over how many lands and how many Gemarken. That doesn't mean markets. What does Gemarken mean?
Regions.
Oh, regions, Gemarken.
I think it's like German market or something like that. Like region, yeah.
Teil haben sich ausgestreckt in den Neuens, die abhangen bewachsen mit Wälder wie mit grünen Bär. sometimes they ausgestreckt in the closeness. Neuent is a closeness. The Oppenhagen, the overhang with Velder, with fields, I think, like with green beards. Is that correct?
Velder are forests.
Oh, forests. So you can see this is what a scene is being painted here. Es haben sich geflochten zwischen sie neppeldicke Zepp, was haben Jakob der Mond und der Meise von Shimshon Hagibel. Yeah. There were geflochten, in sich geflochten. Geflochten, isn't that a braid? Zwischen sie. Braids that remind Yaakov of the story of Samson the Gibber. But I'm missing some words in there. Somebody wants to fill in. Sie haben sich geflochten zwischen sie.
Yeah, geflochten, I think, is like woven.
Okay,
or
woven
plaited.
braids that reminded him of Shimshon. Die aufgegangene Sohn hat gewarmen a feierdicke Schein wie a himmlischer Lamp. The rising sun threw a feierdicke, a burning light like a lamp, a himmlischer Lamp. Himmlischer means
Heavenly.
A heavenly.
a himmlischer Light. Da und dort ist Räuch aufgegangen von einem Berg, wie wollt, gebrennt in seine Tiefenischen. Do it here and there, a Räuch, a smoke, rose from the mountain, like it would be burning in its depth, in seine Tiefenischen, like a smoke, like there was, the smoke was rising as though there was something burning in the mountain. A Geier is geflogen über die Hall. A Geier, a vulture. I think that's a Geier is a vulture, yeah.
A vulture or a kite.
Or a what?
A bird of prey.
Some bird of prey. Yeah.
A bird of prey, yeah.
Äußerlich Hamelech, very amazingly slowly, full nachtische Ruhe, full of night rest, mit der Vertrachtkeit von Bashevis, was ist über alle menschliche definition, okay? The Geier went over not the satellite, the Earth, very, very slowly, full with Nacht der with as though resting, with a restfulness, with the thoughtfulness of a Bashevis, of a creature which was over all human imagination. What is Berechnung?
Bedrängnis is concerns, worries.
Okay, so this is a creature which is above everything. It's and moving very, very slowly. Jacobin is vorgekommen, als der Geier fliegt schon azoi on ihr Bereich sind der Weltbeschaffung. Yaakov was vergekommen, thinks or is convinced that this creature of prey, this vulture, had been going over the earth since the beginning of the earth. Weiter zu seinen Diber geworden, bläuer und noch weiter. So even further, the mountains became bluer and more distant. Koim oin zennen vidig, on a heft, even practically not to be seen, without on a heft, without a weight. Es hat sich ausgewiesen, als die Sonne hat dort nicht kein Schlita. It appeared as though it was a place where the sun had no power, kein Schlita. Es hat dort allemal gedämmert, afilu inmitten Tag. It was as though it was there always, tunkel, sort of, darkness, even in the middle of the day. Auf die Kep, from the Dosike nicht die weltdicke Riesen, seinen gesessen, wolkendicke Mitzin. I mean, this vision that, this scene that he is putting forward is amazing. On the heads of these not worldly giants sits wolkendicke, cloud-like. Vulcan is a cloud, but I don't know what Mitzin are.
Caps.
Caps.
A cap.
So it's like the clouds are their caps. So we've had here, beards, forests that have beards, and now we have these creatures that have caps out of clouds. Sie haben angespart in Eckwelt, wo Menschen gehen nicht und Vieh tritt nicht. What is the, okay, they are in an Eckwelt, an end of the world, where there are no people. Und what is Vieh? Vieh tritt nicht. Nothing walks there. Something that doesn't walk there.
Yeah.
What is
Fee
Vieh?
is like cattle.
But Vieh is cattle. I mean, that means that's an actual word. Vieh, yeah? Wanda hat erzählt, als geht's dort, wohnt de Baba Yaga. Wanda had told him, as there lives the Baba Yaga, was fliegt in a riesigen Merge. This creature called Baba Yaga, who flies around on a giant, we had the word Ries before, a giant carriage, treibt ihm unter mit a Stäubel, treibt him unter, goes, I don't know how to translate that, treibt him unter, goes under with a Stäubel,
A Stoisel.
a Stoisel, und mit a Besem, and with a broom, was is größer von der höchster Tannenbäum, kehlt sie euch das Licht von der Welt. So Wanda has told him that this is where the Baba Yaga lives. She goes in this carriage, and she, with this broom, which is bigger than the highest Tannenbaum. Tannenbäum is a kind of tree. I don't know what tree it is.
A pine tree.
A pine tree that's that big. She sweeps out the light of the world. So there you have it. We have a scene. Magnificent. Okay.
Hmm.
Ready for Hollywood. Okay. Someone else.
Okay. Elka?
I will try. I can read, but I'll need a lot of help with the translations.
So did
Yeah.
I.
More than you.
It's all right.
Jakob ist gestanden a Heucher, a Gleicher, mit bläue Augen, lange bräune Haar, a bräuner Bart, in a paar leinene Häusen, was haben ihm der Glecht bis die Knechtlen in a Schupitze voll mit Riesen und Lattes, Borves und in a Schepsen Hittel. Okay. Yaakov was tall. Gleicher, what would that be?
Straight.
Erect, standing up.
Straight. Picture him. Picture him.
Very upright, with blue eyes and long brown hair and a brown beard. Paul leinene Häusen. Wearing a pair of, what would be leinene?
I think linen. Linen pants.
Linen pants.
Hard to imagine that he's wearing linen pants. I mean, it's so like, you would think he would be wearing something much coarser than that, but all right.
Der Glecht is the Knechtlen. So his pants went down to his Knechtlen. Is that his knees?
His ankles.
Oh, his ankles. Thank you. In a Schiputze. Schiputze, is that full mit Riesen und Lattes? So is the Schiputze, is that his jacket?
It's a long coat.
Yeah.
A coat full of tears and holes.
And patches.
Lattes are patches. Didn't your mother put lattes on your clothing?
Okay. He was barefoot and in a Shepsen Hittel. What is a Shepsen Hittel?
A sheepskin hat.
A sheepskin hat, thank you. And I'm sorry I can't translate as much as you guys.
No problem.
Wie wohl hat verbracht a Sache in Dreußen, ist das Ponem geblieben stottisch bleich.
I think it's Blythe. I think you pronounce it Blythe.
Since he had spent a lot of time outdoors, his face had remained. Wait.
Yeah.
His face had remained stottisch bleich. So, what is stottisch bleich?
No, I think it means the opposite. I think it means wie wohl hat gebracht a Sach und Dreußen is their point. Like even though he had spent so much time in the out of doors, his face remained stottish, like city white, city pale. I think city pale.
I think you got it. It.
Yeah.
Die Häutseine hat sich nicht gekannt abbrennen. And Hoyt, is that his forehead?
Skin.
His skin.
His skin
had not gotten tanned. Wanda hat gesagt,
excuse me, just hat nicht gekonnt brennen. I mean, there's something there. It's like it
had
couldn't.
not been able to. had not been able
to. It couldn't get brown. And we don't know why. He's all the time outside.
Okay. Wanda hat gesagt, als ist ähnlich zu die heilige Bilder, was haben gehangen in der Kaplice unten in Tall. Wow. So Wanda said that he was like the holy builder.
Pictures,
what are the
pictures?
The pictures, like the holy pictures, which hung in the chapel. Unten in Tall. What is Tall?
It's the valley.
In the valley. Okay, thank you. Azoi haben euch gerät die andere Poetes. And the other poetes, who are they?
The peasant women.
All the women in this town or this place that he is now said the same thing about him.
Had said the same thing.
Yeah. So a poyer is a peasant, and a poyerta is a peasant woman.
Ah, thank you. Okay. Should we move the text up, Masha? Okay, thank you. Die Gazdes haben ihm gewollt Tonne machen, mit einer von seiner Töchter ihm aufstellen Rate, machen ihm bei einem von dort, aber Jakob hat nicht gewollt verlassen die jüdische Amune und Jan Bajik, der Balebos, hat ihm gehalten einen ganzen Sommer bis spät in Herbst in der Stall hoch auf den Berg, wo die Bahamas können sich nicht passen auf den Gemäusechts, nor muss, oh my, we have to move it up so we can see the last part of that sentence.
Okay.
Or should we just translate some of it and then move it?
Just translate what we have, and then we'll go over.
Yeah, okay. We have to go back down again a little, Masha, then, so we can see what we started with. Okay, we're good. Okay. The Gazdes, what are the Gazdes?
Couldn't find that.
Well, it's some kind of people. Maybe it's
some kind of people in the village.
Villagers. Haben ihm gewollt Kasane machen. They wanted to make a match for him with one of their daughters, and they would have built him a house, and made him von einem von Dorf. What is that?
That Dorf, that village, einem von Dorf. In other words, the village was down below, I guess, and they would have made him one of them.
Right, good. But Yaakov did not want to abandon the Yiddish community, Amunah.
Right.
Belief.
And
Jewish belief.
Jewish belief. And Jan Bojik, who is Jan Bojik? Is that just somebody we don't know who he is yet?
No, it says the Balabus.
Oh, yes, that's right.
His boss.
Jan Bojik, the head man or the the leader, hat ihm gehalten a ganzen Sommer, so he kept him all summer, bis spät in Herbst, until late in the year, in der Stall, in the stall or in the barn.
It's a good whatever.
High up on the mountain where the animals could not paschen eufen Gemäusechen. What is that?
They couldn't graze in the marsh.
Ah, yes.
Is a marsh.
Uh-huh. But one had to, and now we have to go up to the next page. Can you move it over just a little so we could see the end of the line? There we go. One had to, we müssen fazer anreißen, großen zwischen die Steine. So they had to find grass amongst the stones.
You had to provide for them by finding grass between the stones. It wasn't like they could graze freely because the grass wasn't open like that. You had to provide for them, I think, by pulling the grass from between the stones. That's the way I would read it.
Das doch ist gelegen hoch zwischen Felsen und nicht gehabt genug Lankes. The village lived high up amongst the Felsen. What are the Felsen?
The boulders.
Amongst the boulders, and they didn't have enough Lankes. What would that be?
Lankes, fields, open
okay.
fields.
Yeah. I'm going to pass the baton because it's too painful for you to translate everything that I read. But thank you for
I don't feel that way.
Okay, well, I'll read a little bit more. A little bit more. Edel Jakob hat sich genommen Melchen die Kie, hat gewandt von Fonst.
Gedavend.
Gedavend von Fonst. So Jakob, when he began to milk the cows.
Before he milked the cows.
Before he milked the cows, he would pray. Is that from memory?
In front of the animals. Informed.
Informed. He would pray before the animals. Okay.
Yeah.
Wenn es gekommen zu der Broche Shaloh and Shoni Eber hat sich a while verhalten. So when he came to the prayer, and that's Hebrew, the name of the prayer, he would...
Who didn't make me a slave.
He would stop for a minute. He stopped for a while. Mögt den machen die dosige Broche. Did he have to say that very prayer?
Was it possible? Could he? Was it possible? Meg.
Yeah.
Could he say it? Because he was a slave. How could he say a prayer like that?
Thank God he was making him a slave. Yeah.
Or not making me a woman, or not making me something. And here he is. He's a slave.
Right. Is a Knekht by Jan Bozic. There we're told he is a slave of Jan Bozic. Emes, Leuten gesehen von Ayid in Polen nicht sein kein Leib eigener a viele bei a Poritz.
Poritz.
Poritz. Really, how can a Jew, is this in Poland?
Yeah.
Gesetz, according to the law.
Yeah. Not be Leibegener, is that another word for being enslaved to a a local person? Is that some kind of an official, or it's just the kind of a person who has status? Poritz.
Poritz is the nobleman.
A nobleman. So how could he not be a slave to a nobleman? Is that
no? I think that means the truth is that according to the law, a Jew could not, in Poland, I did not know this, I'm interested to, could not be a slave even to a poritz, even to a nobleman. So I guess, I don't know, maybe somebody in this group knows this. There was a law in Poland, we're talking about the 17th century, that a Jew could not be a slave or a poritz or a Polish poritz.
Can you help with this phrase? Can you help with this phrase, Leutengesehen?
According to the law. But I'm just, I don't know anything about that history. Whether
then I think it might be the opposite. Truly, according to the law, can a Jew not be a slave to a?
No, that's not. No. According to the law, a Jew cannot be in Poland at that time. This was late 17th century. The Jew could not be a slave to a Polish nobleman.
A Jew couldn't.
Can a Jew not be?
No.
A
Jew couldn't be a slave to anyone, not even a nobleman.
I didn't know that there was ever. It's remarkable to me to learn that, but anyway, that's what it says here.
Okay.
Weren't the Jews allowed into Poland under the king? So didn't they really belong to the king?
Well, you mean when they got their first entrance into Poland? That was much earlier.
That was initially in the 13th century.
Right. That was the 13th century.
And they did belong. They did sort of belong to. They were under the control of the king, not of the church or of the nobility.
So maybe that was the origin of the idea that since they were under the control and under the protection of the king, and they had that protection, that they couldn't be enslaved even to a Polish nobleman.
Yeah.
That's, Bashevis throws that in there.
In Poland, we know there was the conflict between the nobles and the king, as everywhere, in terms of sharing power.
Right. It finally did them in. It so weakened the central government that that's one of the reasons that Poland was divided in the late 19th century as it was. But 18th century, excuse me. But
18th, yeah.
Yeah, but why? But as part of that, did the king provide that kind of protection for them that they could not be enslaved even by a nobleman? Perhaps we could ask that question. AI would know that question. All right.
Does AI speak Yiddish?
Jews... AI speaks everything.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we go on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Aber wird du da in der verworfener Gesetzen, verworfener Heck. Aha. Achtung, auf ein Gesinn und
Gesetz.
Gesetz. Achtung auf ein Gesetz. Und was verwehrt haben gehabt die goyische Gesetzen a viele für Chmielnickis Shehete. Oh boy. Okay.
Shita. Okay, you're into Hebrew there. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, but wer tu do? What does that phrase mean? Who here? Who does?
Who took any notice here in this verworfene Heck, in this distant
in this Ekwelt
area?
Okay. Who pays attention? I'm sorry. Somebody else translate the sentence.
To the law, the Gesetz.
Who gave any attention to the law?
Und was verwehrt?
And what? Yeah.
What kind of word haben gehabt die? And what kind of word did the Goyish Gesetzen? What are Gesetzen?
Laws.
Even for Chmielnicki's Chita. Is that a place reference?
No. Chmielnicki was the leader of the revolt of the peasants against the nobility. And the Shchita is the slaughter. Because the Chmielnicki's bands slaughtered thousands of Jews during this revolt against the Catholics and the nobility. Chmielnicki was a Greek Orthodox, and the nobility was Catholic. So the Jews were in the middle.
So Jacob,
the Jews were working for the nobility. They were associated with the nobility because they were in the Ukraine doing. It was already 17th century. They were doing the work of. They were acting as agents for the Polish nobility, and so they got caught in the middle of this, and it was massive slaughter. And
so Jacob is thinking about his own status, that he's really, in fact, a slave. But he shouldn't be according to the law, but the Goyim are not thinking about the law, especially at a time like this during this Chmielnicki business. Is that fair interpretation?
Yeah.
Okay. Jakob hat genommen verliebt dem Nesoin, was die Hashkoche hat auf ihm ungeschickt. So Jacob haben genommen verliebt. That means he accepted?
Yeah.
Dem Nesoyim. And what is Nesoyim? Nesoyim?
Experience.
He accepted the experience, which and what is the Hashkosa?
It's Hashkocha Pratis. It's the divine providence.
Which providence? Yes, which divine providence had sent upon him. Asach et ehrliche Jiden in Josefov und in andere Städte hat man die Kep abgehackt, gehangen, erstickt, auf spitzige Stangen weggesetzt. Okay. A lot of other Jews in Yosefov and in other cities had been had their heads cut off. They'd been hanged. They'd been stabbed. and they'd been put on pikes. Forget the word in English for that when you do that to somebody. But their bodies had been put on pikes. Kashere Weiber.
Der stickt is strangled.
Oh, strangled.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of the sentence, a sach ehrliche, worthy. Ehrlich.
Worthy Jews. So he's thinking, how can he complain about what God has sent to him when all these terrible things happen to other Jews? Okay.
Right.
Koschere Weiber hat man die Beicher aufgetrennt und Ketz in sie genäht. What is Beicher?
Bellies.
Sorry?
Bellies. This is the word. Bellies.
These are Jewish women, I guess.
Kosher Jewish women.
Kosher Jewish women had cats stuck into their bellies.
Yes.
We can move the text
sewn
up.
Into their bellies.
Sewn, eingenäht.
Kinder, was haben nicht versucht, dem Tarm von Sinn, hat man begraben Lebendigkeit. Children who had not, innocent children, had not tasted sin, were buried alive. Im Jakoven ist nicht beschert gewesen die Mitzvah von Kiddush Hashem, but for Yaakov, it was not ordained for him to experience the mitzvah of martyrdom. Is entlaufen und polnische Gazlonim haben ihm verstellt in die Berg und ihm verkauft für Knekht.
That's verschleppt in die Berg.
Verschleppt in die Berg und ihm verkauft für ein Knekht zu Jan Bzik. So he escaped, and Polish robbers dragged him into the mountains, and they sold him as a slave to Jan Bzik. Do hat Jakob sich schon aufgehalten 5 Jahre, and here Jacob had remained already for 5 years. Hat nicht gewusst, sie das Weib oder Emmets von die Kinder leben, and he didn't know whether his wife or anybody else, or any of his children remained alive. Hat nicht gehabt kein Talis und Tfilin, kein Talis Cotton, kein Yiddish Sefer. He didn't have his Talis and his Tfilin. He didn't have his Talis Cotton, his
we know what a Talis Cotton is.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's an undergarment which has the tassels hanging on it of like a talus. So it's like a
yeah, I know what it is now that you explain it. I know about them. I didn't know the word. Thank you.
Okay, so that's a talus cotton.
If you see
and he didn't have a Jewish religious book. bloß der Zeichen auf den Leib hat Edis gesagt, as is a Yid. It was only the sign on his body that gave witness to the fact that he was a Jew. In other words, that he was circumcised. Because the Poles, none of the Poles were circumcised, the non-Jews, and the Jews were all circumcised. So that's the sign on his body. Danken Gott, hat gedenkt von äußenweinig das Davenen und a paar Prokim Mishnayes, hübsche etliche Blätter Gemorre und a Sachkapitel Tehillim, wie euch abgerissene Psukim, Chumash, Neviim, Ksuvim, Teilmol, Neviim, Ksuvim. So he thank God that he remembered of Oisveinik by heart the davening and a few chapters of the Mishnah, quite a number, several pages of Gomorrah, and many kapitel Tehillim, many psalms, and a few random passages of the Chumash, the prophets and the writings. Teilmol hat sich aufgehabt inmitten der Nacht und sich der Mond am Maimer in der Gemorre, was hat allein nicht gewusst, als gedenkt. So often he would wake up in the middle of the night and remembered a passage of the Gomorrah that he didn't know that he himself didn't know that he had remembered it. Der Zikoron hat sich gespielt mit ihm in Behältnis. His memory it's played with him in Behältnis, like in concealment. It hid things from him, and just sometimes he would wake up in the middle of the night and remember something. Wollt Jacob gehat a pen, tint, papier, wollt gekonnt a Sach aufschreiben, aber wo soll man da nehmen schreib gezeigt? Jacob had a pen, ink, paper, he would have been able to write things down. But where would he have been able to find writing material in this place?